The world is full of mysterious creatures no matter where you look. The Earth has an estimated 1 trillion species of animals, and believe it or not, only 1,000th of 1% of these species have been described. That's pretty mind-blowing stuff. So it might not come as a surprise that all over the world, some of these unknown species sometimes show up for some reason or another. Most of the time, these species are easily described, and other times researchers believe that a monster has been found. So, keeping that in mind, join us as we take a look at 5 most mysterious creatures caught in Dubai. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Unknown Sea Creature. The oceans are still one of the vastest and most unexplored places on the planet. The reason that most of it is unexplored is that it's a treacherous environment for us land-dwelling creatures. And with 71% of the Earth covered in water, it's anyone's guess how many species of creatures may be hiding and lurking below the depths of the ocean. And sometimes, some of those things end up floating to the surface of the oceans or seas for some reason or another. Many times, some of these things end up washing up on shores and beaches in the world. But sometimes, a ship will end up finding something that's floating on the water. And that's exactly what happened in November 2013 when a large vessel was on standby in the Persian Gulf. The captain of this vessel got a call on his radio from another ship that said that they had discovered a huge carcass that was floating in the water around their position. The captain of the other ship decided that it was time to move to their location to try to help them understand what they were seeing. As the vessel approaches the other ship, the crew noticed that there was a horrible smell that started to spread around the ship in the air, and yet they were 200 meters or maybe even more away from this thing that was floating in the water. As they got closer to the creature, they started taking a lot of photos of it and were trying to figure out exactly what it was they were looking at. The length of the creature appeared to be between 35 and 40 feet long. In looking at the creature, it looks like it has the tail of a giant alligator or crocodile. The front of the creature, where its head would be, looked really scary. It obviously was something that no one had ever seen before, and some really did think it'll look like an oversized alligator. Some actual estimates were done, and the creature ended up being 50 feet long. Some researchers, when they saw the photograph, said that it must have been a dead whale. Other researchers said that it must be a whale because they were familiar with the skeletons in these creatures. The crew ended up leaving because the smell became so horrible and no one saw the carcass again after this. Number 4. Chupacabra. The legendary Chupacabra. This creature has been seen all over the world, probably because it most resembles some type of canine, and there are a lot of dogs in the world. However, nothing is probably fearsome or more mysterious than the Chupacabra. There are so many videos, photos, and claims of sightings, and there are even some specimens that have been found of what many say is the mythological creature. There's probably no other mythological creature that's more controversial in cryptozoology than this one. The strange and scary thing about this creature is that it doesn't eat its prey, but instead sucks the blood from them, like the mythological vampire, but in dog form. The specimens of some of these creatures that have been found really do look frightening, and nothing like any of the dogs that we know about in modern times. Back on September 24th of 2007, there was a video that was taken in the Saudi Arabian desert in which a sheep herder saw 3 figures that were walking around in the desert. It was very odd, because the sheep herder knew that no one just walks around or wanders around in the desert, being the treacherous and dangerous place that it is. The sheep herder said that he believed that they were men who were lost, and so then started to walk towards them to offer them his assistance. However, as he got closer, he soon realized that they were fighting each other, and there was a lot of dust from the fight. As he got even closer, he suddenly realized that they were not human at all. This terrified him, and so he shot at them with his gun and apparently hit one and supposedly killed it. To the sheep herder's total surprise, the other 2 creatures flew away instead of running away like a dog. The poor sheep herder was in shock and ended up being admitted to a hospital and was mumbling something about 2 creatures that were after him. The man also said something about this being the famous Chupacabra, but Chupacabras don't generally have wings when they are described by a witness. So what were these creatures? And why were they fighting in the middle of the desert? Some mysteries like these may never be explained. Number 3. Mystery kangaroo-like creature. Back on November 12th, 2015, during a camping trip around Al Qudra Lake in Dubai, some mystery animal that resembled a kind of large rodent, somewhat like a giant rat, shocked and terrified a group of weekend campers that were visiting the lake, just before midnight on a Friday afternoon. At this time of night in the middle of the nature preserve, it was dark, and it was nearly impossible to see anything from just a few feet away without light. The mystery creature appeared out of the darkness with its eyes glowing from the light reflection from people trying to see what it was. However, they became so terrified that everyone ran to the safety of their cars. The campers said that because of the intense pitch black darkness during this time, they couldn't see what the creature was, and were very scared. It probably didn't help that there were girls that were screaming because they were afraid that this was some type of creature that had come to eat them. In fact, this creature wasn't afraid of the people or what was going on, and it ended up moving towards the people as if it was coming after them to attack them. Of course, this terrified everyone even more. One of the witnesses said that the creature came within 2 steps of them. Once they were inside their cars, they turned on the car's headlights and started taking pictures on their smartphones of what appeared to be some kind of kangaroo, or perhaps its smaller cousin, a wallaby. But here's the thing, kangaroos and wallabies are found in places like the wilds of Australia and even New Guinea. They are not indigenous or native to the United Arab Emirates. One of the witnesses say that the creature had to be a kangaroo, and he also said that the creature stood up and was almost as tall as he was, at 5 foot 9 inches. Apparently, this creature, or whatever it was, came to the lake to get a drink of water, but the people there weren't sure that it was a kangaroo, but say that it was hopping just like one. The people were afraid of the creature because they say they didn't know what it was gonna do. Of course, the photos went viral, because kangaroos aren't found in the desert. A wildlife management specialist said that they couldn't determine the animal's identity for certain, but they do believe that the animal is some kind of lesser Egyptian jerboa. Apparently, this creature is nocturnal, where the kangaroo and wallaby are not nocturnal because they can't see at night. On the other hand, the jerboa is nocturnal and lives in burrows that it digs to hide from the extreme heat. Number 2. Dinosaur-like creature. The story begins when an electrician was doing a regular job cleaning out an electrical substation. Apparently, this substation had been abandoned for 35 years. It would seem like this would be no big deal and the job would go along as planned. However, during the cleaning of the substation, the electrician found the carcass of what appeared to be a tiny dinosaur, such as a raptor or even a tiny T-Rex. The bizarre thing about the finding of this creature was that there seemed to be flesh still on the bones of the mini dinosaur. This discovery has left scientists baffled. Usually, when a dinosaur is found, there's nothing left but its bones, and those bones are fossilized. Scientists are still struggling to identify the creature. The main argument is that it couldn't possibly be a dinosaur because there's no way that the flesh would be able to survive millions of years of decay. With that, 2 explanations remain. Either dinosaurs are still roaming around the planet, or this is some kind of other creature we know about that just happens to look like the body of a deceased dinosaur. Of course, one scientist told local media that it was impossible for a dinosaur skeleton to be so well preserved after so much time in the past. These types of dinosaurs have been extinct for the past 65 million years. There's no way this creature would be so well preserved unless it had been chemically preserved, such as to store it in a museum. But 2 mysteries remain. The first one is that no one knows of any such type of dinosaur being found that is so well preserved. The second mystery is, how did it end up in an electrical substation? There are other explanations for this creature, with one of them being that it could be some genetically distorted animal fetus from the goat family. Other people say that it's some creature that we haven't seen yet and somehow found its way into the station but couldn't get back out. The whole event remained an unsolved mystery. Number 1. Human-faced goat. One of the more bizarre things that's ever been found is this goat-like creature that caused big chaos on social media. The strange event took place around August 20th, 2017, when someone posted these incredibly scary-looking photos of something that appears to be some kind of 4-legged animal with the face of a human being. And while it's not the perfect resemblance of a human, it is pretty close. Goats have snouts, but this creature had a nose that was bent inward, and its lips were facing upward, features that goats simply don't have. The other creepy thing is that the supposed goat-like animal has no hair at all, and instead has dark brown skin. In the video, two people are holding the animal as it stuck its tongue out continuously. The creature was apparently so scary looking that it terrified the whole village, and anyone knows that small villages have their own myths and legends when it comes to such creatures. The video didn't only shake up the village, but online viewers as well. The video at the time had over 34 million views as people tried to identify what it was. Some said it was some goat or calf with deformities, while other people said that it was a satanic spawn from hell sent to warn that the end of the world was coming. That being said, we'd like to know what you think it is. Hope you enjoyed the video, Top 5ers. If you haven't already, check out our other channel, Americano, to enjoy even more amazing list videos. There'll be a link in the description, so check it out, as well as our other cool stuff